Welcome back to our Peace Through Strength podcast, brought to you by the American Security Council Foundation. I'm your host, Joy Votrobek. Here with me is our senior analyst, Laurence Sanford.
Nice to be here, Joy.
Thank you, Larry. And we're just going to talk a little bit about the drone situation right now. It's short, brief. It's really just suspicions we have because nobody really knows exactly what's going on.
I don't know if would say nobody knows.
Oh, okay,
the public doesn't know.
The public doesn't know.
Yeah, it is a conundrum. I mean, we have all these sightings in the United States, California, New Jersey, apparently in Florida too, New York, Connecticut, Maryland, and now we're seeing them over
tri-state area.
Yeah, the tri-state area, and now we're hearing about Air Force bases in the UK,
yes,
in England, and in Germany. Drone sightings, and I guess the first thing you have to clarify is drones. Drone is an unmanned vehicle, and so the ones that we're talking about are really what are called UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. But you could have a ocean-based. I mean, the Ukraine, for example, has boats that are unmanned, and so they're called drones too. So, and then there's the drones that we're talking about in the air. You have the two types: the helicopter type that go whirling around, or you have the fixed-wing aircraft type. So there's different types going on. And the thing that's puzzling to me about this whole scenario is that they seem to be flying all over American Air Force bases and military bases, and no action is being taken except when it was done in California at Vandenberg Space Force Base, when their detection systems tracked a drone flying in the space. And the detection systems were able to trace the drone to a park, a public park, an hour away from Vandenberg, and there they arrested and charged a Chinese citizen who has residency in America. He had the drone on him with photographs of Vandenberg. Apparently, he's been released by a Chinese judge in San Francisco area, and he's gone back to China. And they had him with the drones and the helicopter type, and they let him get away. But the thing that puzzles me is, if California at Vandenberg can go back and trace the origin of the drone, why couldn't the drones flying over Norfolk and Langley Air Force Base in the Tidewater area of Virginia or New Jersey and all these other places, you mean to tell me those bases don't have the capability to detect drones and find out where they came from? I don't understand it at all. And as far as them being of foreign origin and danger, I'm not so sure, because if they were collecting clandestine stuff, one, they'd be flying in daylight, so the photography would be better. And two, they're flying at night, and why do they have lights on? So people can see them. If they're doing clandestine stuff, you don't want to be seen. And the fact that the government is so close-lipped about it makes me think, all things being equal, that it's a U.S. government operation.
I would agree with that assessment. I have that suspicion of.
And if the U.S. government is doing it, why?
Right.
This is where the real conspiracy, we're already in a conspiracy world now, even deeper into the conspiracy world is, why are they doing this? One theory being bantered around, and like all conspiracy theories has a degree of plausibility, is that there were missing nuclear weapons from the Ukraine days of the Soviet Union, and one of them is now making its way into the United States. And so the U.S. government is acting upon this information and flying drones that can detect the radiation emitted by a nuclear device. And these devices can be as small as a suitcase. And so they're flying around military bases. They're flying up and down the corridor in New Jersey, New York, that area, which is the largest port in the country. And then they're flying over air bases in Germany and the UK. So I'm inclined to think it's the U.S. government doing it, and for what reason, I don't know.
I think it's plausible that they're acting on a credible threat, maybe, that they think is out there. And they're not telling the U.S. public at this point.
Yeah, but eventually it'll come out. That's the part that puzzles me. Why don't they just go ahead and say, well, we're acting on a credible threat?
I agree. Or shoot them down. Why don't they shoot them down? So that was my first question. If they know they're a foreign entity, a problem, why don't they shoot them down?
Precisely. And the Ukrainian defense forces have systems for shooting down drones now. So the ability's out there to shoot these things down.
Well, and so we know one was shot down, brought down in, I think it was New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
And the state recommended hazmat go out to assess the situation. I don't know really what came of it. I have not followed up too much in the story, but
that's as of today. Yes.
That's of today.
Which is December 16th.
Yes.
So it's an ongoing saga that we'll find out as time goes on, but my money on it right now is the U.S. government.
I would agree with that assessment as well. I mean, and does the state even know? They sent hazmat, but do they know, or is it just higher up in the government? Yeah. We don't know.
And you can't keep it. I mean, there's too many drones out there in too many different places.
And too many people citing them.
Eventually it will come out.
And so the Chinese guy that was found, do you think that could possibly be a copycat situation?
Well, the Chinese over here in the United States, they're doing solo wolf kind of attacks all over. They've tried to enter Quantico. Remember, they tried to enter some Chinese. So this guy might be a lone wolf acting in China's behalf. I mean, if China really wanted to do some surveillance, they got all the satellites, and they've corrupted our infrastructure, the internet system. So, I mean, to take a high exposure risk on drones and managing them, maybe.
I mean, they did send the spy balloon that went across the United States that we didn't shoot down until it got over water.
And drones, the smaller ones, you could fit in a small pickup truck or a fishing boat. I mean, China has like 7,000 fishing boats that they could load onto, and they could be cruising up and down the coast, and there's a fishing boat. But at night they're launching all these drones. So there's so many people out after the United States in the West.
Yeah. So. But let's not get too hyped up because they possibly want that propaganda out there. So I would say let's not get too hyped. We know exactly what's going on, and I'm with you, Larry. It could be our own government.
Yeah.
Hopefully they are looking for a threat and going to take care of that issue.
I hope they take care of the issue, yes.
Well, thank you, listeners. We just wanted to give you a little brief on our thoughts on the drone situation. And join us again next time for our Peace Through Strength podcast.